They warned us about Black Hollow. Every old-timer in town had a story. A brother who went missing, a hunter who never came home, a group of teens who walked into the trees and never walked out. But we were young, we were invincible, and most importantly, we were bored. So when Josh suggested a weekend camping trip deep into Black Hollow, none of us hesitated. Not me, not Taylor, not Sam. It was supposed to be an adventure. A few beers, a roaring fire, maybe even some ghost stories to scare each other before crashing in our tents. Instead, it became a nightmare we'd never wake up from. The entrance to Black Hollow wasn't marked. You had to know where to look, past the crumbling miller's barn, over the rusted fence, and through a thicket so dense it looked like a wall of green. The moment we stepped through, it felt like crossing into another world. The temperature dropped instantly. The air grew thick and musty, like breathing through a wet cloth. And the trees, God, the trees. They were massive, ancient things, gnarled and twisted like tortured giants. Their branches wove together overhead, blocking out the sun and casting everything in a sickly green twilight. No birds sang. No insects buzzed. The only sound was the crunch of our boots on dead leaves. Still, we laughed it off, told each other scary stories, pushed deeper into the woods. We hiked for hours, joking, arguing about where to set up camp. Sam kept pulling out his phone, complaining about the lack of signal. Taylor was already regretting carrying the heavy cooler full of beer. And Josh kept looking over his shoulder. When I asked him what was wrong, he just shrugged. "Nothing," he said. "Just feels like we're being watched, that's all." We all laughed, of course. It was Black Hollow. Being creeped out was half the fun, right? We found a clearing just before sunset, a wide, flat space surrounded by thick trees, perfect for camping. Taylor built the fire. Sam cracked open the first beer. Josh set up the tents. And for a little while, it felt almost normal, like any other camping trip. We roasted marshmallows, told dumb jokes, tried and failed to scare each other with ghost stories. But the whole time, I couldn't shake the feeling that we weren't alone, that the trees were listening, that something was waiting, watching. The first sign something was wrong came just after midnight. We heard it, a low guttural growl from somewhere beyond the firelight. Not a bear, not a wolf, something deeper, older. We froze, staring into the darkness. The growl came again, closer this time. Then a flash of movement, something big, something fast, darting between the trees. Sam stood up, shining his flashlight into the woods. Nothing. Just endless shadows. Josh said quietly, "Maybe we should pack up and go back." Taylor laughed it off. "Come on, man. It's probably just a coyote or something." But even as he said it, his voice shook. Another growl, this time from the opposite side. And then another from behind us. We were surrounded. The fire sputtered and popped. The shadows seemed to move closer, closing in, and that's when we saw it. A shape in the trees, tall, thin, wrong. Its limbs were too long, its head cocked at an impossible angle. It didn't move like an animal. It didn't move like a person. It moved like something trying and failing to pretend it was human. Sam screamed, dropped his flashlight. The beam rolled across the clearing, catching glimpses of more figures in the trees. Tall, thin, watching, waiting. The forest wasn't empty. It was full. We ran. Abandoned everything, the tents, the fire, the cooler, everything. We sprinted blindly into the dark, crashing through branches and stumbling over roots. And behind us, the things gave chase, not shouting, not roaring, laughing, a high, brittle, inhuman laughter that echoed through the trees and turned my blood to ice. We didn't stop until we collapsed, gasping for breath, somewhere deep in the woods. No idea where we were, no idea how far we had run. The trees loomed around us, their twisted branches clawing at the sky, and the laughter had stopped. Only silence now, a heavy, suffocating silence. Josh looked around wildly. "Where's Taylor?" he gasped. I turned. Sam turned. No Taylor. He hadn't made it. Somewhere back there, he had fallen behind. And now, he was gone, swallowed by Black Hollow. We should have gone back. We should have turned around, fought our way through the trees, searched for Taylor, but we didn't. Maybe it was fear. Maybe it was cowardice. Maybe it was the tiny voice in the back of our heads whispering, "You're next." Whatever it was, we kept moving forward, deeper into Black Hollow. The night seemed endless. The moon barely pierced the canopy above, casting only the faintest silver glow on the forest floor. Every branch looked like a claw, every shadow like a hand reaching out to grab us. And the trees, they weren't right. They shifted when you weren't looking. You'd swear there was a path behind you, only to turn and find a wall of tangled roots. It was like the forest was alive, changing itself, trapping us. Josh tried to keep us moving. He pulled out a battered compass from his jacket. "A gift from his grandfather," he said, and held it out with trembling hands. The needle spun wildly, north, south, east, west, round and round, like it was drunk. No direction, no escape. We were lost. Completely, hopelessly lost. We stumbled through the dark for what felt like hours. My legs ached. My throat was raw from panting. And then we found the cabin. It rose out of the mist like a black tooth, hunched and rotting, half swallowed by vines and moss. A single window stared out at us, cracked and dirty. There were deep gouges in the door, like some things had tried to claw their way inside or out. Josh wanted to keep moving. Sam insisted we had to rest. In the end, exhaustion won. We pushed the door open with a groan and stepped inside. The air was foul, heavy with the stink of mold and rot. The floorboards creaked under our weight. There was almost nothing inside, just a broken table, a smashed chair, and an old fireplace choked with ashes. But it was shelter, a thin, fragile barrier between us and whatever hunted outside. We huddled together near the fireplace, wrapping ourselves in torn curtains we found hanging from the window. And for a little while, we dared to hope we were safe. I wish now I could say the story ends here, that we made it out somehow, that this was just a spooky camping trip gone wrong. But it wasn't. It was just the beginning. And hey, if you're still with me, if your heart's pounding even half as hard as mine was that night, you might want to hit that subscribe button, because trust me, it's only gonna get worse. The first scream tore through the forest just after we drifted into a restless sleep. A human scream, high, piercing, agonized. Josh sat bolt upright. Sam clutched my arm so hard his nails dug into my skin. Another scream. This one closer. A desperate, ragged voice crying out, "Help me, please!" Taylor. It was Taylor. His voice, no mistaking it, begging, sobbing. "It's him!" Sam shouted, stumbling to his feet. Josh grabbed his arm. "No!" he snapped. "It's a trap." But Sam wasn't listening. He wrenched free and ran out into the night. We hesitated for one terrible second, and then followed. The forest swallowed us again, the cabin vanishing behind us like smoke. Sam was ahead, crashing through the undergrowth, shouting Taylor's name, and the voice, Taylor's voice, answered. Always just a little further ahead, always just out of reach. We ran blindly, heart pounding, lungs burning. Branches whipped at my face, roots clawed at my ankles, and through it all, the voice cried out, "Help me! Please, don't leave me!" We burst into another clearing. Empty, silent, no sign of Sam, no sign of Taylor. Only a single object in the center of the clearing. Sam's flashlight, still on, lying in the dirt, flickering. As we stared, the beam of the flashlight shifted, as if something had nudged it, moved it. Something we couldn't see. Josh backed away, his face white with terror. "We have to go," he whispered. "Now!" But it was too late. The trees around the clearing began to move, figures stepping out of the darkness. The same tall, thin, twisted things we had seen before. Their faces. God, their faces. If you could even call them that. Mouths too wide, eyes too many, skin that looked like it had been stitched together from dozens of different people. They weren't just monsters. They were wrongness made flesh, an insult to everything natural. We turned and ran, again. But this time, there was no direction to run. Everywhere we turned, they were there, coming closer, grinning with those broken mouths, reaching with those too long arms. The laughter started again, high, mocking. It filled the trees, the ground, the sky. It filled my head until I thought I would go insane.